If you enjoy Draw and Paint What You Regret on YouTube and would like to show your support, you can find Cash App and Venmo information below. By all means, this channel is free to watch and learn from. Enjoy! Hey everyone, so I am back with another demo. So this demo is for my Abstract Drawing 1 class. So this is project 2. So as you guys can possibly see, there is a theme when it comes to the projects. So each student has to at least get their ideas down with 3 thumbnails, and then from our final thumbnail we start our completed project. That's how this demo is going to go. So I wanted to at least talk to you guys about the new elements that we are going to be dealing with, as well as the new principles of design that we're going to deal with as well. So to start with, I wanted to talk a bit about the element of shape, because this week we're going to deal with the element of shape, and also our principles that students are able to decide or make a choice of is contrast and variety. So I do have 2 compositions that are here, one dealing with contrast of shape, another one dealing with variety of shape, and then also I have in my sketchbook, I have the different types of shapes that I can think of, whether it's geometric shapes, freeform or organic shapes, positive and negative shapes. So there's a lot of variety when it comes to shapes, and you just got to know the different types of shapes to help with producing whatever non-objective artwork you are producing. Also, in this project, I am going to go over local value, because I do want students to deal with different types of local values within the composition, as well as we are going to use grayscale markers. So I did purchase, I think, a couple of packs of the grayscale markers for students for the class. So we will see, because I know this is not on our supply list. So, but I think it will speed up the process as far as getting down different values without having to use graphite for it. So just to start with, once again, I decided to use different types of shapes, and I came up with 3 different shapes, rectangular shapes, as well as circles, and also a triangle. And then these were just contrasting shapes. So when you think of contrasting shapes, different contrasts of shapes. So if you have a circle and a square, that is a contrast, the opposite, right? And that's what you want to think of contrast. White and black, that's a contrast, it's the opposite. When you want to think of non-textured and textured, that's the opposite, right? In a composition, for some reason, I always tell my students human beings are very attracted to contrast, the opposites within a composition. And then when it comes to variety, you want to make sure you have a variety of different shapes within your composition. So I have triangles, I have narrowed rectangles, as well as circles, and as well as this kind of oval, kind of dome-like shape. So when it comes to shapes, you just want to make sure you have a variety, some free-form shapes as well within your composition. When you are composing, you still want to think about is your composition balanced? Is it asymmetrical? Do you want a circular composition? Possibly next week I'm gonna start going over different types of composition structures. That way we'll have more ideas that we can put down within a composition and have a little bit more structure with composition. But I just want to, at very least, just the first 2 weeks, just keep the class a little bit on the simple side. That way I'm not adding in too much and it's getting too overwhelming or complicated too soon. So possibly next week I'm going to start squeezing in some composition structures. That way you can get a better idea of how to compose. So Another thing with students, I am going to lecture local value. So that means that each color has a value attached to it. So value and color goes together. So if you have something that is red, typically my students are on a value scale of 1 through 5. And if you don't know what a value scale is, or just value in general, value is pretty much the lightness and the darkness of a color or a tone. So if you have a color red, typically on a value scale of 1 through 5, your red will be in the center. Or let's say you have green, typically a green will be in the center as well, which is a value 3. If you have something that's blue, it's probably a 4. Of course, black and white are at the ends of the at the left and right end of that actual value scale. So that kind of gives you an idea. I am going to go over local value and show a value chart with all the possible colors in our value scale in the lecture. But I just wanted to have all of this laid out in my sketchbook. That way you have an idea of at least my ideas for this composition, or at least this project for project 2. That way, you know, at least I've gone down a little bit of a rabbit hole to get an idea of what I want to do for my piece. Once again, when it comes to this non-objective art with abstract drawing, I want my students to think through the process. I think thinking through the process, it makes so much sense. That way you have an idea of what you produce, and you're able to talk about it intelligently. So enough of my intro and enough of me actually talking. I'm going to go ahead and get started on the demo. So I'm just going to see you guys in the next clip. All right, bye guys. Hey everyone, so I wanted to just pop in for a second just to pretty much just talk about some materials. There's some things that I don't think I talked about in my intro, and I think is really materials. So as you can see, you guys, in the left hand corner, I actually inserted my thumbnail. This is the actual idea that I'm going to go with and transfer to my white drawing paper. So when it comes to my drawing paper, it's just a typical white drawing paper. Also, I am using a ruler because I need to get down my shapes as accurate as I possibly can while I am transferring, as well as I am using a Prismacolor erase pencil gray. I did pull out my Prismacolor erase pencil black as well. I didn't really use the black, I mainly just used the gray because I wanted to have a light lines. So as you can see, you can probably barely see my lines, but I wanted my lines to be light because I'm using grayscale markers. So I know I have some shapes that are going to be very dark, and I'm going to have some shapes that are going to be light, and I'm going to have some mid-tone shapes as well. Also, what I'm using is I'm using shapes, a shape template. So the shape template, you guys, is I decided to use it because I just did not want to draw proper circles. I wanted a quicker way of getting the circles down. So I wanted to make sure I have that down. Also, what's near me, and I know you probably can barely see it in the actual screen, is my sketchbook with all of my ideas. I do make sure I have that near me. That way I am making the proper transfer to my paper. And when it comes to the transfer, I'm literally just copying over what I did in my thumbnail to the best of my ability with my paper. So I wanted to pop in just really quick and just talk about the materials and to talk about my process just a bit. Also, when it comes to the markers, you guys bear with me. I haven't used markers in a while, and I realized that I was very rusty. So there's some bleeding areas, there's some very streaked areas. I'm not 100% a fan of it, but as far as the idea and the composition, I'm pretty happy with what I ended up with. So I hope this helps. So if you are a student that is just following along with the demo videos, you kind of have an idea of what the materials that I'm using are, just what I'm doing in general when it comes to get into the end product of this assignment. So this is project 2 for my Drawing 1 class at CAC. So you guys just enjoy the rest of the demo, and I'll see you guys in the next video or the next demo. Bye guys.